Hello, Sky Friends, and welcome to Seasons of Skyrend, Book 4. We're a custom 5e D&D adventure that focuses on the stories of our characters as they seek to change the world, and how the world responds in turn. I am your host and DM, Scott, and you can find me on Twitter at @TheScottBlake.
Hi, I'm Chris, and you can find me at EwokKiller on Twitter. I play Finnegan Finn Tempest, a Tiefling Trainer, which is a Skyrend original class supported by the Metalweave Games supplement Baby Bestiary. Finn is the trainer of Cerilius, a blue guard drake.
Hi, my name is Nate. You can find me on Twitter at Skyrend_Nate. I play Darvin Grimm, the human monk, and I am currently hosting Cade, the demigod of the land in my brain.
Hi, I'm Shannon. You can find me on Twitter at Skyrend_Shannon. I play Aranus Grey, the god of rebellion, and I am a half-elf bard.
You can also find the show on Twitter at Skyrend Podcast, and you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Skyrend Podcast. Head on over to find out about bonus chapters, early access, NPC creation, and more. Now then, thank you for joining us, and please enjoy this chapter in Seasons of Skyrend. Rather than fight Orizaba the Wise and completely overthrow Caravel's government, you came to a compromise, one that is surely to her benefit. In exchange for you having Lynn Jarvis tried elsewhere, the Brass Dragon gains control over the city. Although she and Lynn had been working together on a drastically different remedy for the Withering, her greed and crimes do not seem as severe. However, the glimpses at the truth of their methods are quite disturbing. In an effort to sideline all of the gods, they connected with a power seemingly foreign to all other magic in the world. With Lynn in custody, along with his casting implement, there is still time for further questioning before you send him off to Karami. However, you may be able to get some answers with the casting implement alone. Turning in for the night within the walls of the Church of Rebellion, you seek rest and recovery before continuing your journey south. As everyone dozes off, Pouchet emerges once more. After producing a number of small items and trinkets, he uses Ikiri's arms to search even deeper within his pouch. He manages to retrieve another vestige of Ikiri's previous form, reattaching the halo-like glow behind his head. Rather than returning to his statuette form, he wakes Darvin with a simple statement. Darvin, we have much to discuss. Darvin, how would you like to react?
Gonna pretend to still be asleep for a second.
Okay. Give me you could roll deception or performance. His
It's
body
not gonna
lying
work.
in either way.
It is not gonna go well either way. Hang on. Oof. I rolled a 2, but I have a -1. So it's not technically a crit fail, but
Not technically, no. Darvin feigns sleep. Parentheses, poorly.
I'm glad that roll didn't go well.
That's fine. Darvin, what of your personal belongings do you still have on you when you sleep? Or do you go down to just your normal monk clothes and leave your bag next to you?
I'm trying to remember what the weather's like where we are. It's not cold, but it's not super hot either, right?
Right. You're in Caravel. You're inside. The city's in the autumn belt, so temperate. Probably a little cool, but it's not freezing.
Then it probably, is fairly stripped down to an underwear-like state. Whatever that would be for a monk.
Mm-hmm.
Fully underwear?
I don't know, man.
Wow.
It's up to you.
Holy underwear.
Monkey underwear?
Monkey underwear?
Monkey underwear.
Okay. Pouchet is going to tug at your ear slightly. Darvin, saying your name with each shake. You can choose to ignore him if you want, but he's being a little bit more forceful.
I don't think there's a point in continuing. I will wake up.
It's been a while, Darvin. Why?
A while since breakfast?
Since I've been out.
Okay, then why?
You tell me. You don't let me out. Darvin.
Well, you seem to have no trouble coming out on your own.
That's different.
Different how?
When you summon me, I can take. It's hard to take on my own.
Interesting.
I'm not used to this here.
What do you mean?
Giving. Finding. I want more.
More what?
I am not sure. I have been finding lost things.
You want more lost things?
No. Yes. Not things, but lost. I am finding memories, Darvin.
Uh-oh.
I can remember fights now in a cave with the terrifying Tamani man. I'm remembering being not this, a man. I had wealth, power. I want to know more.
But you didn't have a pouch. I'm assuming, because humans don't usually have pouches. Not that I know what you're talking about or anything.
As the man, I had no pouch, no. In the fight, I did, but I was not quite the man. Taking things from the fallen makes me stronger, makes it easier to find that which is lost. I want more.
More memories?
Yes. More everything.
You and me both.
Will you help me, Darvin?
I'm at a loss for words. I want to say no, but I don't think that's the right answer either.
It's up to you.
Okay, I'm going to say, how can I help? Do you want me to steal things for you? I could do that. I mean, I'm not as good a thief as you are, or as...
I want out more. I want to take more so I can find more.
But you need me to command you to do that? It doesn't work when you do it on your own.
I do not... I cannot tell when people have fallen. I may be able to take, but I... Until I come out, I don't know if somebody has fallen. You fight, Darvin.
Okay. I get it. Kinda.
Let me reap those benefits. Pouchet wants to loot bodies.
I got that.
Okay.
We'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Darvin. The more lost things I find, if I do not need them, I can give them to you.
That is always appreciated. We like things.
The memories are mine, of course.
Of course.
Okay. Do you have anything else to ask of Pouchet, Ikiri?
I guess not. I kind of want to be like, do you remember that you're mad at us and trying to kill us? But it's probably not the best way to phrase that either. And I'm assuming he'll remember that if he remembers. So, No,
Okay. Perhaps eventually.
I can't think of anything.
All right.
Well, I do plan to. I need to tell the others. So, like, Darvin is, okay, first thing in the morning, and be like, guys, we got an issue here.
Okay. Pouchet will not go waking up your allies just yet. He does have somewhat of a connection with you, as you are the person who summons him. But if there's nothing else, you can unsummon him if you want.
I can unsummon him when he...
Yeah, he's still out and about, and the rules still apply here.
Kind of feel bad for him, honestly. But yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do for him right now, or anything else I can get from him. So I will unsummon him for the time being. But I do want to have that conversation with the others, like, as soon as possible.
Okay. Very good. Darvin, after unsummoning Pouchet, are you going to try to rest then?
Yes.
Okay. In which case, before we can wake up, we have one bit of bookkeeping that we have to do, and that is with Finnegan. Finnegan, you have creatures who require training.
Yes.
As part of your class, as part of being a tamer, your creature companions require steady discipline and instruction, and each time you take a short or long rest with one or more of them, you must engage them in training of some sort for at least an hour. On a success, they gain the benefit of training and may improve disposition towards you, and you may gain the usual benefits of rest as well. On a failure, creatures gain no benefit from the training, their disposition towards you could worsen, and you gain no benefits from the rest, which is a lot of ways that things can go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, we need to handle that training. I guess timeline-wise, this probably happened right before everybody went to bed, but this could have been later at night while you were in a different room or outside, since you do have now Cyril and Sunbeak to contend with, unless you are dismissing either one of them, I should say.
No.
Okay. I didn't imagine you would be, especially since you and Cyril are so very close, and you just made friends with Sunbeak, but wanted to put that out there. So, Finnegan, we need to do some taming, some training sessions. I've got the dock open right over here. The Baby Bestiary by Metal Weave Games. Plug them again. So let's talk. Let's just talk through this. Get through this fairly quickly, and we'll see what benefit, if any, you gain from this training. So, what does this DC start off as?
Let me go 1 second.
Okay, I will see if I can find that. It starts with their disposition. That's right. So let's start there. Base disposition of each creature. Cyril is friendly or loyal?
Yeah, I've got friendly right here.
Friendly. And Sunbeak, I'm guessing, is indifferent.
Yep.
Okay. The last time we did this, you didn't have both of them at the same time, did you?
And we've done one with both of them at the same time.
Okay. Did we start with the more difficult one?
Think so.
Okay.
I'm going to jot that down too so that next time we know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it says right here in the modifiers. It's based on the companion's disposition.
And I have Sunbeak at a wash for bonuses because she gets a +2 to being callous, but a -2 to being a beast. So
okay. So that's 15. What do we have from Cyril?
Cyril is, I believe, also a wash, but let me double check. Yes, +1 for timid and... Oh, no. Sorry, Cyril's not. Cyril's a +2 total. +1 for timid and +1 for dragon.
Okay. So that puts us at 17 to start with. We'll see if we're doing this correctly as we go. So if we're starting at a 17, then we get into the modifiers. An additional pet. Yes, there's 2 of them. So that would bump it up by 3 to make it 20. Disagreeable Regimen. What's this regimen? This is end of the day, getting ready to rest. What you doing?
I was thinking about that. And I think because they're working together here, and it's something I actually want to do with them. And I think the idea is using my animal handling, if you'll allow it for this task. I want to have them like team hunt food for Sunbeak.
Okay, so they're going to go out hunting mice for Sunbeak.
In an alley, yeah, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like teaching them techniques where like maybe Cyril can like spook them and she can swoop down and try and catch one, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Animal handling sounds fine for that. Okay, that's not a disagreeable regimen. This is fine. A snack. Are you giving them a snack?
I definitely think I'm down to like one snack left for Cyril. I think that's what we had said.
Mm-hmm.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I think we had said that I had set some traps for trying to catch a mouse for Sunbeak at some point.
I'm pretty sure you caught one mouse and then gave it to Sunbeak, which would leave you with no mice. But if you give a favorite snack to Cyril, you'll still get that DC modifier.
Cool. So yeah, I've got the one at least.
Okay.
I need to go buy some fish jerky before we leave town.
Well, I just gotta head up north, where all the fish jerky comes from. Okay. So we don't have to worry about the disliked snack. Favorable environment, at least for Sunbeak this is.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's venison jerky. That's my bad. I misremembered. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a -1. We bump that down to 19. Favorite snack for Cyril, yes. We bump that back down to 17. Low rations. If their dietary needs have not been met this week, DC increases by 3. Not a concern this time. Quality time. You've spent quality time with Cyril, but not Sunbeak. So I'll give you the -1 this time. Repeat regiment. It's the first time you've done this one, so we don't need to worry about that. Temperament. We already took that into account.
Mm-hmm.
And unfavorable environment. Unless the city is detrimental to Cyril's lifestyle, I don't think we need to worry about that. Cyril
I think Cyril's been trained and traveled enough. This is like her first big travels, but I think she's trained enough that like unfavorable environment would really have to be like she's a blue drake, so it would have to be something that's like really, really wet or really, really cold at this point. But that's my thought.
Yeah. I think given that it's a temperate environment and this is just a city and you've spent a lot of time with Cyril doing other training before we ever met the two of you, city living probably was part of that. So we'll leave this at 16. So yeah, you can roll animal handling, DC of 16. What's your bonus to animal handling?
Let me double check, but I remember if I'm not correct, it's a 7. So it's not my best bonus, but it is my best that I could make sense of and not run Arcana again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 14 total.
Ooh. Well, on a failure, they don't get any benefit from the training. Their disposition towards you is not going to worsen today. This is the first time you failed with them. But that means you also don't get any benefit from this rest. They're going to be keeping you up all night. Sunbeak was able to catch some mice, but it wasn't enough. Cyril was able to get some exercise, but it wasn't quite enough. So, Chris, roll on that mishap table. That's there on page 21, D20. I'm so excited for this.
It's a 19.
19. I don't remember if they get better or worse as the numbers go up.
I think they're pretty randomized, actually.
The animal companion's appetite grows. It was reading my mind. Not enough food. It eats far more than it normally does during meals and makes every effort to get its master or the party to give it food from their plates. So, these animals are hungry. Wasn't enough food today. Cyril did a lot of work, had a lot of combat, a lot of running around. Finnegan, do you have any rations at all in your inventory?
Yeah, I have 10 days worth of rations. No, I have 9 days because I used 1.
Okay. Roll 2d6.
7.
Oh, okay. They ate 7 days worth of your rations. Just gone.
Holy crap.
And the sound of them tearing through your pack and eating through your own personal rations is keeping you up. I don't know what kind of efforts you are trying to make tonight to get them to stop or to get them to sleep.
I think after they probably go through like the first 3, I just kind of like push all the rations that I have left to the other side of the room that I'm sleeping in the hopes that they will at least quietly eat, and so I can try to sleep.
Oh, they will eat, and then Cyril will come over and just start licking your face, mouth smelling of road rations, and Sunbeak will perch on top of you. And you feel Sunbeak's claws just kind of gently digging into your shoulders. And unfortunately, yeah, the 3 of you are not getting any rest benefits.
All 3
Everybody
of them?
else will be able to sleep
me
okay.
and the companions, okay.
Yeah, sorry. You and the 2 creatures. Which is a consequence of the failure.
Oh, that also means that I'm going to take a level of exhaustion, right?
That's a good
or are
question.
we not going to add that level? Like, do I get enough rest that I'm not exhausted, and then I just like don't heal and don't gain spell slots, or are we going to go all the way with it?
Just a second. Let me look up exhaustion, because it's not one that I had really looked at. I think for this first time, we're not going to do exhaustion, but I guess that could always be an extra thing we slip in there if we need to / want to. I think you're able to you're able to lie down and close your eyes, but the rest is just not good rest. So you're not going to be exhausted, but you also didn't heal from the night's rest. You don't get your spell slots back from the night's rest.
Well, and I think it's like, I always picture like the healing and spell slot rejuvenation not as something that happens because you rest, but like while you're resting, you take time to bandage your wounds, right? And you take time to refocus your mind on you to be able to cast your spells. And I'm just so distracted by these crazy freaking animals. I don't even get to do that.
Mm-hmm. Sunbeak's a new addition here. Maybe she enjoys playing with Cyril a lot, and the 2 of them play a lot more too. And it's just they're not getting sleep. It's a kid's first sleepover. They're both tired in the morning. Okay. Well, I'm sorry about that, Finnegan, but luckily you're just here in a town. This didn't happen in the middle of a dungeon or anything.
Thank God. Also, note to self, don't do the training right before bed. Do it during a short rest.
Well, and there'll be plenty of long rests and short rests that just happen, out of focus. The only reason tonight's happened is because we had to do the business with Darvin.
Mm-hmm.
So we were actually focusing in on tonight. But okay. Wonderful. With that out of the way, morning comes. For some of you, much quicker than for others. Darvin may have gone to sleep a little bit later than the rest of you, but he still slept well. Finnegan is not looking so great. I don't know, does Finnegan get bags under his eyes? Is his hair not combed? What's it look like after a poor night's sleep?
Yeah, I'd say like his hair is definitely like, he usually wears it because it's like medium length, so it's long enough he could tie it back, but he doesn't usually. And today it's tied back. His beard, which is normally kind of pretty well groomed into a point, it's a little like poofy. Definitely like dark bags under his eyes. And I think like his I'm just trying to think. I think that's like the key element of it. Also like his uniform's a little bit more wrinkled.
Nice. Everybody else wakes up. Darvin, Artis, health points, spell slots back up to where they should be.
Nice.
And before we get on with the day, let's talk about the party bonds. The previous day and the previous days overall, you all did a lot together. Set about overthrowing Lynn Jarvis and his greedy ways here in the city of Caravel, and had some partial success. Lynn is still there. He is asleep. He's waking up, but he is still gagged unless anybody ungagged him, and as such will not be participating in this conversation, aside from a few muffled... But real quick, let's just go through the party notes and look at bonds, see if there's anything that we need to update. Sam is at a +5. He's staying at a +5. He's good. Carolina is at a +3 with you all. And while she is glad that kind of in general it was victory, there wasn't really any fatalities on your side. There were some injuries, sure, and some of the allies that you brought in to help you, probably aren't doing so well. Some of them may have passed. I think the big thing holding her back from her bond increasing is the fact that you were right there, Orizaba was right there, and you all walked away. She knows that there is some wisdom in prudence, in de-escalating situations, but she was all set for a fight, and she's in agreement with you all. Orizaba's not the best person. It may be an upgrade from Lynn, but is it enough of an upgrade? I think going down the list, we have Felicity, who's at 4. I think she's fine. Tonk is at 3. He's good. Morello, though. Morello is one. He's the assassin in training, and he's hearing the story of what happened yesterday. He went all the way in there, all the way down there, and what do we have? We have Lynn Jarvis tied up, and we're going to send him to trial when we could kill him. And we left Orizaba there in charge when we could have fought her. He's a kid, he's still young. He thinks he could have won. So he's feeling a little let down by what's happened. And unless anybody wants to convince him otherwise, his is going to drop down. He doesn't see the wisdom in the overall actions. Like, we were so close, all we had to do was put knives in people. He still thinks he could just knife Lynn Jarvis right now, and that would be a good thing.
I mean, I can talk to him.
Do you want to?
Yeah, because he can't just go around shouting about, he wouldn't shout, but
he's not shouting. He's grumbling under his breath.
I can't have him going around grumbling that we made a stupid decision, because it makes all of us look bad, including himself. Though I'm sure he doesn't see it that way. But
no, he's a kid.
Yeah.
The adults made a mistake. He didn't.
Right.
Sure. What do you say to him? I mean, this is going to be real quick. Give me the argument, and then we'll have a roll, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay. I mean, I'd probably call him over and be like, "Hey, Grumbles, give me just come over here a minute." Okay. I'm just going to guess that you think we didn't make the right decision in leaving Lynn alive and leaving Orizaba in charge. I'm just going to...
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been talking about with Mahogany and Seth.
Right. I know this is your training, right? Assassin's going to assassin. I get it. And I say that in a low voice, I don't, But you cannot stab your way out of every single problem. The wisdom here is that though Orizaba is in charge of the town, it is better to leave her here, someplace where we know where she is, we know where we can find her, we know where we can come back and stop her with bigger guns, because this is not just our fight. This fight actually goes way above even my pay grade. And the only way to effectively stop her and whatever movement she's trying to start is to get the gods involved in it. You can't stab your way out of that, unfortunately.
He definitely thinks you can, but you need to roll here to see how well this argument went. This sounds like persuasion, so go ahead and roll it.
Yeah. I'm not likely to threaten a kid unless they've come at me with a knife.
He hasn't done that yet.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Well, that could have been one worse, but yikes. That's a 17.
Oh, that's it?
I rolled a 2, so yeah. Damn it. I haven't rolled that low in a while. Persuasion roll. Shit.
I think he says, I know you can't stab your way out of every problem. But we could have stabbed our way out of this problem. You're going to send him away with a bunch of assassins just for a trial, when we could pay them probably far less and just make him disappear. And Morello's bond drops down to 1. He's young, he's brash, he's bold. Every problem is a stabbing problem. Well, not every problem, but old man we have tied up who did bad things, that's a stabbing problem. Up next we have Parlin, and they will rejoice in the victories of their lord. So unless anybody wants to argue against them, their bond is going to go up to 4.
Nice.
They have now seen people with the withering, creatures with the withering fully healed. They have seen a tyrant brought in. Look at the mercy that we're showing. We could have killed this person, but no, we're sending them off to a trial, an impartial trial even. Very
Good,
much
you
the
go talk to
opposite.
Morello.
Very much the opposite of Morello here. So unless anybody wants to convince Parlin not to drink this Kool-Aid, their bond is jumping up to 4.
Oh, can we not call it that?
Drink the
Please.
Kool-Aid. Drink it.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Naughty, naughty Kool-Aid.
I mean, Parlin's faith is their strength. But I mean, one wrong turn and it is their weakness. Okay. Real quick down to our last 3 here. Mahogany, your halfling child, who's a gang leader. And while I don't think Mahogany would have batted an eye at you taking out Lynn or Orizaba, she has a little bit better understanding of, sometimes these are pieces you move around a board rather than pieces that you throw from the board. I think she's going to stay at 2. She did enjoy lighting some fires. That was a lot of fun. But she probably would have liked to do some more. Seth is a bookkeeper. Man, he is very glad that he got to stay away from things. He would love to get a look at the ledgers and things that Lynn had in his office. I can't remember. Did you all take any of those?
Yes, we did, with the intention of giving them to Seth to look at.
Okay. That's good. I think whether his bond goes up or down will be based on after he gets a chance to look at those things. And whether he's actually able to get anything from it, and whether or not you all appreciate his fine hard work that he does. Bristos. I mean, he'll get to it, but you can tell he's not 100% pleased with how things went. We've got a divine being and a person with a demi-divine being inside of them. And how did you solve your problems? Like mortals. But you did solve the one problem you set out to. It's just, hey, you did the one thing, but you did it in a boring mortal type way. I don't think he's yet seeing it as a failing of his ability as a teacher. It's more just like, these students.
He needs some administrative pressure.
Well, it's like you're all doing a group project and everybody's doing the bare minimum. You're not living up to your potential. Sorry. So perhaps if your next lesson or outing goes well, his might bump up for now. It's going to stay where it is, at the 1. And that's where we are. Just a small change there with Morello and Parlin. And let's get back down to today's. Okay. So we did the pouch it, we did the party bond update. We did Finnegan rolling for his training. So that's all the bookkeeping and all the last night out of the way. Morning comes. Everybody's awake. Finnegan is looking rough, but everybody's awake. Lynn is waking up too, but he's not doing anything. What is the plan for today? I remember you said you wanted to ship Lynn out to Karami via the denouement. And if we want to tackle that first, we can. I really just want to know who is contacting them to set up that deal.
I think, honestly, the first thing that happens for Arnis, because he doesn't usually wake up like this. Usually it's a little slower. The first thing that happens, Arnis literally, pops his eyes open. He sits bolt upright, and he just shouts, "Ristos!"
Ristos has been awake. He's perched on the back of a pew right now. He's kind of leaning a little bit to one side. Good morning, Arnis. little loud for this early in the day, but what do you want?
It just occurred to me that I have 2 god-sized problems, and I need to get the gods involved in them. How do I do that? What's the easiest way to contact, like, a lot of them at once?
What are your 2 problems now?
Well, there's a demigod who's very intent on killing his father and taking his place, and he's not cool. He's bad. Like, nobody wants him with more power. I think he would be a danger to both the world and the gods themselves. And 2, Orizaba, who you'll recall from yesterday, is very intent on putting all the gods in a box, and I'm pretty sure they should have some warning so that they can, I don't know, keep an eye, stop her themselves, I don't know. Something. But they should know about these 2 things, like, immediately, and I forgot to do it yesterday, and I don't know how I did that.
I'm a little less concerned about that second one, but a demigod wanting to kill their father. Okay. He flies a little closer, gives a loud whisper at you. Is it Cade? Do we have to take Darvin out?
No.
Well, then I'm at a loss. Enlighten me.
Okay, you're gonna have to remind me of his name because I don't... Wait a minute. I bet I wrote it down. Wait.
I bet you did.
I did. I don't remember the name of the dwarven god, though. I remember Levesk.
I will pull it up on the sheet just so I don't get it wrong, but I am 99% positive that the name of the dwarven god is Gregok Ironhand.
Gregok Ironhand. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I'm remembering this now.
Gregok Ironhand.
So, Levesk, dwarven demigod, is going after Gregok Ironhand, and he's taking a crazy floating island out there to where he thinks Gregok Ironhand is, and he's got... Do I know about Agnitai?
Yeah.
I'm so positive that you do. You've met Agnitai and Levesk, remember?
Oh, right. That's right. Yes. Duh. Okay. And he's got Agnitai, the fiend goddess, basically, like, subdued to his will, I guess, is the way to put it. I don't know how that happened, but she's helping him.
Levesk. Well, I guess the real question is here, do we care if Gregok's not in command anymore of the dwarves?
Okay, so that doesn't actually concern me so much as who wants to take command from him. You don't want Levesk to have the power of a god. He is a megalomaniacal, crazy person.
Okay. I will take your word for it. I don't recall him at this very moment, but I guess it shouldn't surprise you that over the ages, the gods have procreated a bit here and there. It's something that I've been meaning to talk to you about, Arnis, actually. It's very important. It's one of the top lessons here for you. But okay.
Wait, what?
You gotta procreate, Arnis.
No. Just the rules around it is all.
Don't procreate, Arnis.
Not sure you're going to have many issues on that front with me, buddy, but go ahead. Yeah, whatever. So I'm sorry, what are we doing?
We'll get to that later. We can talk about the rules, and I mean, if you need to know about the methods, that's not really my area of expertise. But the gods have many. They are not bound by mortal limitations. Anyways, Orizaba wants to put the gods in a box. Why is that bad?
Remember, he doesn't like the gods either.
Oh.
He's not saying he can't help you. He just wants to know what's going on here.
Well, I mean, regardless of, any meddling or whatever that the gods do, they do actually serve, like, at least a purpose of being a sort of beacon of hope, not to mention directly helping their people in many cases, or at least from what I've witnessed. So taking them off the chessboard seems like a poor idea. Unless you're planning to replace them with something, which seems like an even poorer idea.
Oh, I have no plans for that myself. But we could always ask Lynn what his plan entails besides just a box. Outside of that, you want to talk to the gods.
Yeah.
Oh my. Just remembered where we are. We're in Caravel. Just a moment. There's a name of a place. There's a name of a place that we've already been.
Oh, you're looking for the name of that temple?
I'm looking for that. Yes, here we go.
The Temple of Alathia.
The Chapel of Alathia.
The Chapel of Alathia.
The Chapel of Alathia. That's right. That is here at Caravel.
That was sort of where I was going, but it occurred to me that Arnis didn't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Vale never said.
Vale went, and then Vale did not talk about it.
Yeah.
Rystos will say, well, at one point in time, Tiff had made an artifact, Tiff's mirror, that allowed one to speak to all of the gods that they're connected to. You're not connected to all of them, but a good number of them. Of course, after the turn, it's changed a little bit. But last I heard, it was actually here in this city. Of course, if you want to speak to all of the gods at once, I suppose there are a couple of options there. You being divine now, you could try to re-enter a bulb and communicate with them through there. If you recall, there were the threads and the tethers of all the gods in there. You were only concerned with those that were broken and about to disappear, but they were all there. Or, of course, you could go to the home of the gods. Now, that's quite advanced and could prove dangerous for you to take on at this juncture. But if you want to try, the worst it could do is, well, I don't know if it could kill you. I mean, it could send you somewhere that you don't want to be, but anybody here who's a little vulnerable to things like death might not have the best of times if you get it wrong.
Well, I don't need to necessarily talk to all of them at once, but a few, and then get them to spread the word would probably do it. So, where is this chapel? In this town?
Oh, I'm hardly a guide of Caravel. The last I knew it was in this city. You would have to ask around.
All right.
But the last I knew, it was at one of Tiff's temples. I was told it was in this city. I don't know where that is specifically within this city.
Okay. Well, thank you. I'm going to then wait until some of the people who run this church wake up, because they live here. They would know.
Yeah, I'm not worried about you getting that information if you're just asking the custodians, let's say, of this Church of Rebellion, the priests and deacons and elders and what have you. Yes. There was Rhonda Glenn, who was a deacon here. There's Carmela Hodges, who is the priest. And Franklin Elliott, who's the doorman. Val Quinn, who's an usher. And Cassie, who is also an usher.
My instinct was to ask Carmela, but they all live here. So, whoever...
Well, I don't know if the doorman lives here, but Carmela definitely would be around early in the day.
Okay. No, I mean, they all live in the city.
Oh,
presumably.
Yes, they all live in the city. I thought you meant in the church itself.
No. Sorry. So, yeah, just whoever I come upon first.
Yeah. You run into Carmela first. She's getting up, setting things out up front, getting her robes out, laying those out, tidying things up, asking if anybody here who's crashing for the night needs anything. Hey, do you need some tea? Do you need some water? Do you need to know where a nearby bathhouse is at? so you can clean up for the morning. Simple things. She's not breaking the bank for you all, especially not after your last religious law was passed. But Carmela will definitely tell you where the Chapel of Alathia is if you want to find it.
Cool.
Oh yeah, it's pretty close to the Stained Court. It's a bit of a rundown place, bit of a heap. The Apostle there, real hard to nail down. Real hard to know anything for sure about them. Helpful though, I can say that much.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really like the first thing I'm doing in the morning, and I'm not going to make a secret of it. Like, anybody can come with me if they want.
Okay. Is this what everybody wants to do? Do you all want to go to this chapel?
Finnegan's totally down. A chance to connect and like experience the gods beyond Arnis. Yeah, that sounds like something I want to do.
Okay. Darvin?
Darvin, absolutely.
Okay.
One other thing is for like just my own purposes, I want to say that Finnegan did not hear the discussion about going and like all of that with Ristos, because I don't want to just like, I didn't want to interrupt, but also like the idea of Agnitai and Agnitai's situation is something that like is important to him, but I didn't want to interrupt your moment. So like I didn't hear any of that.
And I'm kind of thinking I didn't probably either, because Darvin is still super worried about Pouchit. So he's still like chomping at the bit to get in that word, and I don't,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he would have let that conversation just happen if he'd been around.
Okay. So the three of you want to go to this chapel. Are you going to leave all your allies here at the church? Who's watching Lynn? Is there anything they need to do while you're gone?
Can we arrange Lynn's transportation first? I don't want to just leave him hanging out here in town.
Oh yeah, that's actually
true.
a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Get him
Absolutely
off and
can.
moving.
That gets me back to my original question. Who's contacting the denouement?
Oh, it probably should be me.
Or you can give your...
You know what?
There you go.
I'm going to have Morello do it.
There you go.
Okay. Who's going with Morello, or is he doing this solo?
Just kind of gave him what for this yesterday, but I'll go.
Wait,
Considering,
now
like,
you are going?
Well, I'll go with him, like just kind of to back him up, just because I'm the other person that has like any standing with the guild. So like if I turn up there and I'm like, hey, I have this thing, like, they're not going to bat their eyes at me being there.
Okay.
I'm going to say...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, does it discount Morello's ability to do his job if you feel like he has to be babysat just to go to the guild and come back?
See, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe.
Because it's not like we're not going to them eventually. No, you know what? I'm just going to send him on his own
Okay.
and tell him
Okay.
that I'm trusting him with this.
Okay. Morello, being an assassin, he's a junior member of the denouement, surely. But he knows contacts. He knows how to find the right people. And I do think that this is something that the Assassin's Guild can do. It's definitely outside of the typical day's work. So mostly we're going to be rolling for how much this is going to cost,
I figured.
rather than, whether or not this can happen. So I need somebody to roll a d20 plus 1, because that's Morello's bond. Who wants to roll?
Not the way I've been rolling.
I will.
All right. D20 plus 1.
I got a 15.
Hey, not bad. Almost made it to the top. Well, above 20 would have been top tier, but still pretty good. Let's grab some dice here and roll some monies. All right. That is 40 gold to get this transfer to happen.
Okay.
Maybe it's because Morello is younger. Maybe it's because of his attitude when he goes into this guild hall. But you're not getting the best price you could. A decent price. Vale might scoff at it, but it's not like... it's not a predatory amount, let's say. Let's go ahead and just mark that money off. And if you want, this can be the last you ever see of Lynn Jarvis here in Caravel.
Yeah, it is.
Are you keeping his casting implement?
Yes, we are.
Because I want some time with that.
Okay. By the time you return, Lynn will be gone.
When I see Morello, after he's like arranged this whole thing, I'm just gonna give him a like, hey, nice work.
Okay. You'll see him when you come back from the chapel.
Yeah. I just didn't want to forget to do that.
Arnis is making mental note. All right. Give him a verbal high five. Got
Let
it.
me do it. But like, do it all cash.
Okay. So we want to go to the Chapel of Alathia. We have Arnis, Darvin, and Finnegan. Do you want to bring anybody else with you?
Really, since we've taken care of Lynn, if anybody wants to come with us, they should. Or they can.
I mean, this is such a fun list of people who might want to come. Rystos is like, oh, absolutely not. I'm not going. No. No. I do not want to talk to them. I barely want to talk to you. But no. No.
What an asshole. I love it so much.
I would say Parlin, but Parlin just wants to connect with Aranis and, don't need to go to a chapel for that. They are already following you all around. Other than that, it's Felicity, I think, who wants to go. She's been reconnecting with Favon. So she hears like, hey, this is a chance to go talk to some gods. Even if she doesn't get to speak with Favon directly, this will be very interesting. This will be informative. She's a priest. Group session with the gods. And it's not something she's ever experienced. This will be fun. Or informative. Sam and Carolina don't feel they need to intrude. Morello's gone. Unless you ask Tonk to go, he's not going to go. Same with Mahogany and Seth. Unless you ask them to. They're just going to be like, that's not for us. Okay. Finnegan, are Sunbeak and Cyril coming?
I am going to take Cyril, but I'm going to leave Sunbeak to kind of her own devices, kind of giving her the instruction to, watch over the chapel. Like, hunt around here, keep an eye out for anyone that is coming to cause trouble, but, you're still learning, and I don't, absolutely love the idea of bringing you into a confined indoor space.
Okay. Really mostly concerned with who's actually going inside, but okay. Sunbeak is patrolling outside. Then let's go. It's still pretty early in the morning here in Caravel. Yesterday's events have not fully resolved. People are a little confused about the new changes. Orizaba has yet to send out any proclamations or anything, but the tax collectors haven't been around since you kicked those two to the curb. But since then, they haven't been around. They've been hearing word that people are being let into the city without being charged the usual toll. But still, they are not 100% yet. They're cautiously optimistic. The city's gone through one big change recently, and now here's another one. They don't know 100% what to expect. But the city's beginning to open up, and you make your way through past a waking city, nearby the Stained Court, which does have some signs out there, but it lacks the panache that it did your first time here. It's less about the show. It's less about the entertainment and more about the, just watch people hurt each other. But nearby, you do find the Chapel of Alathia. It is a somewhat dilapidated building. It's got a few crumbling stones on it, but the door is unlocked. It does have the symbol to Tiff out front. That colorful swirl. I want to say it's mostly gray. But yeah. And the door is open.
I'm going to go on in and kind of shout a greeting. I'm not trying to sneak up on anybody.
Okay. 1 second. I'm just seeing if I can find the last time I described this place. As I wrote before, the Chapel of Alathia is a simple place of worship, adorned with streams of gray fabric hanging among quaint chandeliers of glass and old polished metal. Several stone benches, off-white and with light orange streaks, lead to the front of the chapel where a thin curtain separates the room. Through the curtain, you can make out a person who's tending to some candles. And upon hearing you enter, they say, hello. There's a number of you. Who am I addressing?
Kind of just do a whip around for everybody. Like, my name is Arnis. This is Finn, Cyril, Darvin, Felicity.
And as Echo, the shapeshifter, emerges, rather than seeing a shapeshifter, you see Arnis in simple fabric robes. Gray, an orange sash, hair brushed back. Welcome to the Chapel of Alathia. How may I help you today?
I'm here to see if I can speak with some gods.
I see. Is it just you then, Arnis?
The folks that came with me, they're here for their own purposes, but I'm guessing that they have the same goal, though on a smaller scale, I would presume. More one-on-one.
Well, the experience here at the chapel is typically a private one, but if you wish to share it, there's no rule against that. As long as you're willing to be open with yourselves and with your connections.
At this, I'll kind of turn to everybody and be like, what I have to talk with them about is not a private matter. But I'm guessing that if we all go in there together, and I'm going to kind of like turn back. I'm sorry, I've been incredibly rude. What is your name?
Do not let my appearance fool you. I am not you. My name is Echo.
Echo. And I'll say, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Echo, but I'm guessing that if we all go in together, then like we all share together. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to keep your conversations private, we can go one at a time.
Yeah. Does anybody want a private session in the chapel?
Not me.
Finnegan doesn't need one.
Felicity is not sure what to expect, so she'd rather do it with people she trusts. Darvin and Arnis. Finn, she's getting there. Just recently met you, but if Darvin and Arnis are trusting you, she will trust you as well. Okay. Well, I mean, if nobody wants a private experience here, then yeah, I think we could do this all at once. It just gets a little bit more wild. The more people that are in there. I did not know we were going to be
what we're all about on this podcast.
Echo looks at you, Arnis, and says, Arnis, are you ready to face the truth?
I mean, is anybody really? But yeah, as much as I can be.
Very good. They step over to Finnegan, and Finnegan, as Echo steps in front of you, they shift and look exactly like you. Finnegan, are you ready to face that which mortals desire?
It's a really deep question that Finnegan's not in the headspace to deal with because he's so tired. And so he just says,
Then Echo steps to Darvin, shifts into you, leg, sword, and all. Darvin, are you ready to face that which mortals fear?
I'm in. Yep.
Very good. Then Echo approaches Felicity, shifts into her form, shrinking down, losing the arm. Felicity, you may face difficulties there, but I want you to know, and in fact I want all of you to know, as in Felicity's form, they turn. This experience is not something you have to bear if you do not wish it. When you finish, you may choose to retain your memories of your time here. If not, I can remove them for you. All I ask is that if you do choose to remember, you consider payment. You consider a kindness to the chapel so that we may continue to serve. Are you ready?
I think I'm as ready as I'm getting.
Well then, Echo will lead everybody downstairs to a tan stone door, and they will push it open. And inside you see a small room, empty except for a stone pedestal there in the center. The stone in here is drastically different from what you may have seen elsewhere. It is green and yellow, smooth, with layers of unfocused reflections. Even the interior side of the door is composed of this same stone. Echo holds the door open and motions for you to enter.
I do so.
Take your time, if you wish. There's no shame in a quick exit. It's a difficult experience for some. When you're ready, simply shut the door and wait. And Echo will turn and walk back up the stairs. All right. Just let me know.
Yeah, as soon as they're done talking, I'm like, there's no time like the present. And I head on in.
I'm right after Arnis.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm behind Darvin.
Cyril and all?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well then, with the 5 of you in, you shut the door, and it takes a moment. The room feels still. Feels like energy is bouncing off of unseen walls deep in the distance, as silhouettes begin to form within the stone. And this is where things get weird. When Vale was here, it was a limited number of attendees. But now, we are going to have quite the attendance. And with that, we'll bring this chapter to a close. But the story will always continue. Thanks again to all of our Patreon patrons for your support. If you'd like to become a patron, go to patreon.com/Skyrend podcast and pick out a level that's right for you. Before we go, I'd like to give special thanks to everyone at the $5 and up tiers. At the $5 City Council level, thank you, Shannon DeMello. At the $10 Mayor level, thank you, Christopher DeMello. At the $15 Governor level, thank you, Paul Calicott, Phoenix Bryan, and Sierra Jones. Thank you for listening to this chapter in Seasons of Skyrend. If you like what you heard, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you find us. If you want to chat, we're on Twitter at Skyrend Podcast. You can join our Discord server, or you can email us at skyrendpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us online at skyrendpodcast.com. As always, thanks to Daryl Barnes for creating our theme music. You can find them on Twitter at DarylBarnes_. We also want to thank the talented at Gabby_Desu on Twitter for our fantastic podcast art. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next time on Seasons of Skyrend.